Hello everyone, my name is Aniket. I am from 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗃. In today's video, we are going to discuss the solutions for the contest Starters 188. Let's start with the discussion.
So the first question is red and blue gems. The question states that there are R red gems and B blue gems. Each red gem can be sold for P coins, while a blue gem can be sold for Q coins. And you are not allowed to take gems of both colors, which means you can either take red gems or blue gems. You may either take all of the red gems or take all the blue gems. Find the maximum number of coins you can obtain by taking some of the gems and then selling them. So let's write down the question. Let's understand the question. So he's saying that there are R red gems and B blue gems, and each red gem can be sold for P coins, which means how many coins you can make by selling red gems? R into P, because we have R red gems, and each blue gem can be sold for Q coins, which means by selling all the blue gems, how many coins you make? That is B into Q. So the maximum of this both will be your answer. Simple, right? So let's start with the code. So in the input format, he is giving simply RBPQ. So RBPQ is equals to, let's say, map of int comma input dot split. Can you simply do this? Let's say if your R into P, if it is greater than B into Q, I can simply print R into P. Yes. Else, I can simply print B into Q. Yes. Let's run the code and see what we are getting. So we are getting the answer as 10. Your output is 10. Let's check the constraints before submitting. It is 10. So, okay. Let's submit the code. And it's done. Let's go to the next question. So the next question is train even or odd. Chef will be going to the gym for some of the next n days. On the ith day, he will be free to go to the gym for 5 hours. Chef does not want to go to the gym every day because he is lazy. But he also does not want to miss too many days without going to the gym once. Thus, he decided that we'll go for alternate day. So he may go on the days first day, third day, fifth day alternatively, or he will skip the first day and he'll start from day 2, day 4, day 6 alternatively. We need to find the total number of hours he can visit the gym. Okay. So let's check the input format. In the first line, we will be getting single integer t, that is test cases. Each test case will have n, the number of days he will go, and the second line will contain n integers, that is a array, that is number of hours he is free on ith day. So let's give a look at the sample input. We got 3 test cases. The first test case is of size 3, 2, 5, 4. So let's look at the test case. So for the first test case, you're getting n is equals to 3, which means he can go to the gym for the next n days, that is 3 days, and a array is of 2, 5, 4. 2, 5, and 4. So let's write down the indexes 0, 1, and 2. Now, since he is going alternatively, he can either go on 0th day and 2nd day, that is first day and 3rd day, or he can go on 2nd day, right? Now, let's say if he is going on 0th day and 2nd day, what is the total number of hours he will be spending? 2 plus 4, right? And if he is going on the first day, the total number of hours he will be spending is 5. So here he is total 6 hours, and here he is spending 5 hours. So the maximum he can spend is by doing alternatively. That is, we need to print 6. Yes. Now, how can we solve this? It's simple, right? We can take the sum of all the even indexes, and we can take the sum of all the odd indexes, and we can print the maximum of them. Yes, simple. Let's start with the code. So first we need to read test cases. Let's say t is equals to int of input. Now, while t greater than 0, what we need to do? We need to take input for n. N is equals to int of input, and we need to take the a array as input. A is equals to, let's say, list of map of int comma input dot split. Now what we need to do? We need to maintain even index sum. So let's say even sum initially 0 and odd sum initially 0. Now we will iterate on the array for I in range of n. If your I percentile 2, that is if it is an even index, what we need to do, we need to add it into the even sum. So even sum equals plus equals to a of I. Else what we need to do, we need to add it into the odd sum plus equals to a of I. Now after calculating even sum and odd sum, what we need to do, we need to print the maximum. Let's say print max of even sum comma odd sum. Okay, and we need to do t minus minus as well. Let's run the code and see. Okay, in Python we don't have minus equals to. We don't have increment and decrement in Python, so we are getting 6, 9 and 5. Let's run the code and see. Done. Let's go to the next one. Let's start with the next question. Subset sum 3. You are given with an array A of n integers. Determine if there exists a non-empty subsequence of A such that sum is divisible by 3. Print yes or no. Accordingly, you do not need to print the example for each subset. So B is said to be subset. Okay, here is subset explanation. We don't need it. We know what is a subset. So we need to check if there exists a subset whose sum is divisible by 3. So he mentioned it as subsequence, but all subsequences are subset. Yes, so we can simply consider a subset. So the input format will be given t, and next t lines will be n and array. Okay, let's take an array example and see. Let's say we have an array of size n. Let's say our n is equals to some 4. Let's take an array example. Let's say we have 4, 3, 5 and 1. Okay. Now we need to take a subset whose sum percentile 3 is equals to 0. And he also mentioned that we should not take an exists a non-empty subset. We can't take an empty subset. Why? Because if I take an empty subset, what is it? Sums 0. So 0 is divisible by 3. So all empty subsets are valid. So that's why we need to take a non-empty subset. Now, let's do one thing. Let's apply mod 3 for each and every element. So 4 mod 3 is 1, 0, 2, and this is 1. Okay, this is our modulus. Now here I can see that one of the element is 0. What does that mean? That element mod 3 is 0. Can I take that single element as a subsequence? Yes. So in this array, if I have at least one, if I have a 0, can I print yes? Yes, that is one case. So the first case is having a 0. Now let's say we didn't have a 0. Instead of 0, I had some 1. Now, what can we do? So if you observe, we have an element whose mod value is 1 and we have an element whose mod value is 2. Can I take these two elements? If I sum these two elements, what will happen? This remainder is 1, this remainder is 2, the sum is 3, which is divisible by 3. Yes. So if I take an element with 1 remainder and 2 remainder, I can form a subset which is divisible by 3. Yes. Which means if I have at least one element with remainder 1 and 2, if I have elements with remainder 1 and 2, I can print yes. So in these two cases we can print yes. Yes or no? And what are the other cases we can't print yes? Let's say we have reminders of an array 1, 1, 1, 1. Only once. Then what we can do? If I have only ones, then if I have more than 3 ones, I can sum them up and to get a value of 3. Yes. So your count of 1, if it is greater than 3 also, we can get a subset. Yes or no? Now what happens if I have only 2's? If I have only 2's, if I have 3 2's, the sum is 6, which is divisible by 3. So even in this case, if I have 1's or if I have 2's greater than or equals to 3, we can get a subset. Right? So this is the logic. Now let's write a code for it. So the previous two questions we have did in Python. Now let's do in Java. So let's start with the code. Let's declare a scanner class. Scanner is equals to new scanner system.in Let's read the test cases. Int test is equals to sc dot next int, while test minus minus greater than 0, int n is equals to sc dot next int. Let's declare an array. Int array is equals to new int of size n. Let's take an array input for int I equals to 0, y less than n, I plus plus array of I equals to sc dot next int. Now what are we doing? We are iterating on the array for int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. So in our approach, what should we do? We should count the numbers which has remainder 0, 1 and 2. So let's say we have int c0 equals to 0, where count of zeros, c0, c1 count of 1 is equals to 0, and c2 count of 2 is equals to 0 initially. Now if your array of I percentile 3, that is modulo 3, if it is equals to 0, what I can do? c0 plus plus, else if your array of I percentile 3 modulo 3, if it is equals to 1, what should we do? c1 plus plus, else we can simply do c2 plus plus. Now here what we need to do, if your c0, if it is greater than 0, which means there is at least 1 0, I can do, or if your c1 is greater than or equals to 3, or if your c2 is greater than or equals to 3, or if your c1 is greater than 1, which means greater than 0, which means there is at least one number with remainder 1, and then if your c2 parallelly has a value greater than 0. In all these cases I can print yes, system dot out dot println yes, else system dot out dot println no. Let's run the code and see. So you are getting no, yes, yes, no, yes, yes. That is the output. Let's submit the code. Done. Let's go to the next question. Yeah guys, the next question is yet another monsters problem. There are n monsters with the ith monster having a of I hit points. A monster is said to be alive when he has a positive number of hit points. Your job is to kill all monsters. To do this, you can either do the following. Kill a monster completely in 1 second, that is choose some monster X who is alive and then reduce his hit points to 0. Damage all, the second thing that you can do is damage all alive monsters by 1 hit point. This also takes 1 second. Some monsters may die as a result as their hit points become 0. Find the minimum time to kill all the monsters. Okay, so the input format is you'll be given test cases, and in each test case you'll be having n, the number of monsters, and a array, which is hit points of each monster. Okay, so let's take an example. So the example is that he gave is 11151 and the output is 2, because you can kill this 5 monster by killing directly option 1, and you can kill this remaining 2 monsters by using option 2, that is reducing the all monster hit points by 1. So with this 2 seconds of time we can kill all the monsters. Let's take a bigger example for better understanding. Let's say we have an array of monsters 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 and 7 8 9. Let's say this is an array. Now what can we do? Let's what all options do we have? Let's say we are taking some monster 7. We can kill this entire monster in 1 second by using option 1, which will take 1 unit of time. Yes, this is one way. Or else let's say I'm using option 2. I'm using option 2. If I use option 2, what will happen? All these monsters will become 0, and these monsters' health will become 1. This will become 6, 7 and 8. So by using option 2, we have killed 4 monsters at a time. Yes, and in the next time we use option 2, we'll kill 3 monsters. Yes. Now, how do we decide which move is helping, which option is helping? Yes. And here, as I have sorted the monsters array, will the sorting change? Will the sorting change the answer? No. So if the sorting doesn't change the answer, it's better we sort. For the most of the questions, we can sort the array. It will be very helpful. Now, what can we do? How to decide which monster to kill? Now let's say I'm at some index I at this index a of I. Now, if I want to kill this index, if I want to kill this monster with first option, if I want to kill this monster with the second options, how many seconds will it take? A of I seconds, yes. And while killing it with second option, will all these monsters be killed? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. Now, to kill the remaining of monsters, let's say I'm using the first option, that is killing each of them manually. How much time will it take? The remaining, let's say here we have 4 and this is plus 2, 6. This is one possibility. In this way, can I do the same for every index? Yes, by exploring all the possibilities. Because while killing this monster, it will kill all the remaining monsters. Yes or no? Yes. So we'll start from here, a of I. We will kill the monster using the second option. We'll kill the remaining monsters using the first option. We will repeat this at every index and we'll keep track of the minimum time at each possibility. Yes, can we do this? Now let's write a code for it. So we have a scanner class. Scanner is equals to new scanner system.in. Int test equals to sc.nextInt, while test minus minus greater than 0, int 10 is equals to sc.nextInt. Let's declare an int array equals to new int of n. Let's take the array input for int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Right, so we need to take array input array of I equals to n. Now we need to declare our answer, int answer. What should I declare my answer with? So if you look at the logic, here what all possibilities are we covering? That is, let's say this monster, I will do it with the second option and the remaining monster with first option, and this monster with second option, remaining with first option. Now what is the maximum that we can get? So if I delete all the monsters with first option, that will be the maximum number of seconds. Yes. Now we need to consider that possibility as well. Now let's take that. Let's say our answer is n initially. Now I'll iterate on the array and I will see if I can reduce it. If int I equals to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. How are we reducing it? So if I delete all the monsters by first option, that will be my maximum. How can I see if I can reduce it? But that is, if I'm at this index, I can reduce all these monsters by second option, right? So our answer equals to mat.min of answer, comma. So to delete the current monster with second option, it will take array of item, which will also delete the left monsters, plus the remaining monsters will be n minus I minus 1 on the right side. And let's print the answer, system.out.println answer. Let's run the code and see. 3, okay. Okay, here I'm not taking the input, right? Here this is sa.nextInt, and I need to sort the array as well. Now let's run the code. Here we need to pass ARR. So I got 213. Let's submit and see. Done.
If you like the video, you can share it with your friends, and for more such content, you can follow Smart Interviews. See you in the next one.